Greetings, dream wanderer. Soft whisper. Shall we begin our tale? Step softly, ever so softly, into a world of wonder. In a world where dreams had become nothing but ancient legends, where nights were as empty as a starless sky, there lived a young bread seller named Luna. Her small cart, weathered by time and daily use, stood faithfully at the corner of Grey Stone Street and Hollow Lane. A quiet reminder of simpler days. Luna's amber eyes sparkled with determination each morning as she kneaded her dough. Her calloused hands worked tirelessly, creating perfectly shaped loaves that filled the air with their warm, comforting aroma. While others trudged through their dreamless existence, Luna's spirit remained undiminished, a rare flame of hope in this colorless world. The city around her was a maze of tall, concrete buildings that seemed to touch the perpetually cloudy sky. People moved about their daily routines with mechanical precision, their eyes glazed with the emptiness that came from years without dreams. They had forgotten what it meant to imagine, to hope, to see beyond the ordinary. Every day, Luna would arrange her fresh loaves carefully, their golden brown crusts catching what little sunlight filtered through the heavy clouds. Her regulars would come, the factory workers with their tired eyes, the office clerks clutching their briefcases, the street sweepers with their worn-out brooms. Each one received not just bread from Luna, but also a genuine smile and a moment of kindness that had become as rare as dreams themselves. What none of them knew, what Luna herself had yet to discover, was that in her small bakery cart lay the seeds of something extraordinary, something that would challenge the very fabric of their dreamless existence. Meanwhile, as our story unfolds, one peculiar morning, as Luna prepared her daily batch of bread, something quite extraordinary happened. Her hands, moving through familiar motions, began to shimmer with an otherworldly glow. The dough beneath her fingers took on a subtle silvery sheen, but Luna, focused on her work, didn't notice the change. That evening, an elderly woman named Ms. Iris, known throughout the neighborhood for her sharp wit and mysterious past, purchased the last loaf. "My dear," she said, her eyes twinkling with wisdom, "there's something different about today's bread." Luna smiled politely, but thought nothing of it. Until the next morning, Miss Iris returned, her face animated with an expression Luna hadn't seen in years. "I had a dream," she whispered excitedly, her voice trembling. "A real dream. The first one in decades." Luna's eyes widened in disbelief. Dreams had vanished from their world so long ago that most young people, including Luna herself, had never experienced one. Word spread quietly through the neighborhood. Soon, others who had eaten Luna's bread began reporting similar experiences. Fragments of dreams, whispers of imagination, creeping back into their nights. Some spoke of flying, others of dancing through rainbow-colored forests. Each dream was unique, like a precious jewel in a world that had forgotten color. However, not everyone welcomed this change. The city council, led by the stern director Magnus, viewed these reports with suspicion. "Dreams are dangerous," he declared. At an emergency meeting, they make people question, hope, imagine. "We can't have that." He ordered an investigation into Luna's bakery cart. Luna found herself caught between two forces: the growing number of people desperately seeking her bread, and the authorities who wanted to shut her down. Ms. Iris became her strongest ally, teaching her to harness the mysterious energy that flowed through her hands into the dough. "You have a gift," the old woman would say softly, "one that could wake up our sleeping world." Together, they discovered that Luna's ability was tied to her compassion. Each loaf she baked, with genuine care for others, carried the dream-awakening magic. But those made hurriedly, or without heart, remained ordinary bread. This revelation came with a price. Creating the magical bread exhausted Luna, leaving her drained, but fulfilled. As scrutiny from the authorities intensified, Luna and Miss Iris began operating in secret. They converted Miss Iris's basement into a covert bakery, distributing the special bread through a network of trusted customers. Each night, more people in the city began to dream. And with those dreams came something even more powerful: hope. Director Magnus, however, wasn't easily defeated. He implemented a new law, requiring all bakers to use standardized ingredients from government-approved suppliers. Luna watched as her fellow bakers complied, one by one, their shelves filling with bland, dreamless bread. But she wouldn't give up. Sometimes, Ms. Iris told her one evening, as they worked in the hidden bakery, the most powerful magic isn't in the bread at all. It's in remembering who we were meant to be. Luna pondered these words as she kneaded another batch of dough, her hands glowing softly in the dim light of their secret sanctuary. The secret bakery beneath Ms. Iris's home became a sanctuary of hope. At night, while the city slept its dreamless sleep, Luna experimented with different recipes. She discovered that adding dried lavender made people dream of peaceful meadows, while a pinch of cinnamon brought forth memories of childhood joy. Each ingredient, when touched by her glowing hands, carried its own dream-inducing properties. One particularly cold evening, as Luna worked the dough with trembling fingers, Miss Iris shared a shocking revelation. "I was there," she whispered, her voice soft as falling snow. "The day they took the dreams away." Her eyes grew distant, lost in memories. "They called it the Great Rationalization, a citywide program to make people more productive, more focused. They released something into the water supply, something that dulled our ability to dream." Luna's hands stopped moving, covered in flour. "But why would they do that?" she asked, her voice barely audible over the gentle hum of the basement heater. Miss Iris sighed deeply, her wrinkled hands clutching her shawl. "People who dream, my dear, also dare to question, to imagine different possibilities." She paused, letting the words settle like dust motes in the air. "And that made some powerful people very nervous." Another pause, watching Luna's hands resume their rhythmic kneading. "But they never expected someone like you, someone whose very touch could reawaken what they tried to bury." As the nights grew longer, Luna began noticing subtle changes in her customers. The factory workers stood a little straighter, their eyes brighter. The office clerks hummed forgotten melodies. Children, who had never known dreams, began drawing fantastic creatures and impossible landscapes. The city was slowly awakening, one loaf at a time. Director Magnus wasn't idle, though. His investigators had started testing random bread samples across the city. They were getting closer, methodically working their way through each district. Luna and Miss Iris had to be increasingly careful about their distribution network, using a complex system of code words and secret signals. "The bread's magic is strongest when shared with intention," Miss Iris observed one night, watching Luna prepare a special batch for the children's shelter. "Your gift isn't just in your hands, it's in your heart. That's what they can never regulate or control." But the strain was beginning to show. Luna's hands now glowed almost constantly, and she found herself exhausted by midday. The magic was demanding more from her as more people began to dream. Yet she wouldn't stop, not when she saw the hope returning to people's faces, the spark of imagination rekindling in their eyes. In the quiet hours before dawn, as Luna shaped loaves that would soon carry dreams throughout the city, she realized that she had begun to dream too, not just at night, but in her waking hours. Dreams of a city reborn, of people remembering who they were meant to be, of a world where imagination danced freely once again. The turning point came on a moonless night when Director Magnus himself unknowingly consumed one of Luna's special loaves. That night, for the first time in decades, he dreamed. He saw himself as a young boy, flying paper airplanes from his grandfather's balcony, his heart full of wonder and possibility. The dream shook him to his core. The next morning, his orders changed. The investigations quietly ceased, While he never spoke directly to Luna, anonymous tips began reaching her about scheduled inspections, giving her time to prepare. Some said they saw him walking past her cart, inhaling deeply, a ghost of a smile on his usually stern face. Gradually, like the first light of dawn, creeping over the horizon, dreams began returning to the city. It wasn't just Luna's bread anymore, though that remained special. The very air seemed to shimmer with possibility. Children started asking what-if questions again. Artists emerged from hiding, their canvases exploding with colors. Musicians played melodies that hadn't been heard in generations. Ms. Iris's basement became a gathering place, where people shared their dreams, their voices soft with wonder. "I saw butterflies made of stardust," one would whisper. "I walked through a forest where the trees sang," another would add. Each story strengthened the collective imagination of the city. Luna's hands still glowed, but now she noticed others developing their own kinds of magic. A school teacher whose stories made children's eyes sparkle with wonder. A gardener whose flowers seemed to dance in impossible colors. A street musician whose melodies carried listeners to far-off places. One morning, Luna found a small package outside her door. Inside was a vial of clear liquid and a note. The last sample of the dream suppressant. She and Miss Iris poured it down the drain, watching it disappear into history. The city was different now. Not perfect. No place ever is. But alive with possibility. People still bought Luna's bread, not because they needed it to dream, but because it reminded them of the power of kindness, freely given. Each loaf carried a simple message, baked into its crust. Share your dreams. Luna kept her cart at the corner of Grey Stone Street and Hollow Lane, though neither seemed quite so gray or hollow anymore. Each morning, as she kneaded her dough, she smiled at the thought of all the dreamers passing by, each carrying their own magic, each adding their own color to the world. And every night, as the city drifted off to sleep, countless minds sailed off into seas of imagination, their dreams interweaving like threads in a tapestry, creating stories that would never again be forgotten. Sweet dreams. Dear dreamers, may your nights be filled with wonder and your days with the courage to make those dreams real.